Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Millennium TV News. This is Fozia Tawan with today's top stories. NSA phone data collection not illegal, US court rules. David Miliband, migrant crisis amid European breakdown. Turkish jets attack IS Syria targets. Bangkok bomb, Thai police arrest man over Irawan blast. US economic growth revision to 3.7% boosts markets. Rugby World Cup 2015, Waisiki Naholo in New Zealand squad. Dear viewers, now the details. District of Columbia judges said the plaintiffs had failed to prove they had been targeted for NSA surveillance. Judges in a separate case in New York in May ruled the program illegal. It is not clear what the latest ruling means, as Congress has since passed legislation phasing out the NSA's bulk collection of Americans' records. The agency's spying was revealed in 2013 by Edward Snowden, a former NSA contractor who has since fled to Russia. It collected data about members' calls and times, but not the content of conversations. It also allegedly spied on European firms, as well as high-profile individuals, including German Chancellor Angela Merkel. The ruling on Friday in the District of Columbia reserved a preliminary ruling in 2013 by a lower court which said the NSA program was probably unconstitutional and almost Orwellian. But judges said the case should not continue because the people that brought the case, activist Larry Kleman and the parents of an NSA employee killed in Afghanistan, fell short of meeting the higher burden of proof required for a preliminary injunction. Congress in June passed legislation aimed at scaling back the program in the coming months and ending bulk collection of Americans' records. This week has brought more grim headlines in the migrant crisis, as people from the Middle East and Africa flee to Europe by land and sea. Hungarian police say they have arrested 4 people over the discovery of the bodies of 71 migrants, thought to be Syrian, in a lorry in Austria. The victims included 59 men, 8 women and 4 children who are thought to have been dead for about 2 days. And 200 people are feared dead after 2 boats carrying migrants capsized off the coast of Libya. The UN says more than 3,000 migrants have now tried to cross the Mediterranean this year, more than in all of 2014. David Miliband, President and CEO of the International Rescue Committee, told the BBC's Geno Brain that the crisis needs to be dealt with both at the source, with conflicts in countries like Syria that causing people to leave, and by better cooperation between European countries to deal with the migrants that arrive. Both of their causes of death are listed as homicides by the U.S. State's Medical Examiner's Officer. Alison Parker suffered gunshot wounds to the head, the chest, while Adam Ward died from gunshot wounds to the head and torso. It is not yet clear how many times Parker and Ward were shot during the attack on Wednesday. Parker and Ward both worked for WDBJ in Roanoke, Virginia, and were shot while broadcasting by a former employee of their station. Vester Flagon later died from self-inflicted gunshot wounds. He had claimed staff and mistreated him during his time there. During Friday morning's broadcast on WDBJ, anchor Kim B.C. Brom said it was another through morning for us, but we are soldiering on. 2 days after the horrifying events, the shopping plaza where the journalists were killed during an on-air interview, Bridgeware Plaza in Montea, Virginia, is reopening. Vicky Gardner, who was being interviewed at the time of the attack and was shot in the back after the gunman missed her twice, got up and walked to the ambulance after being hit, said her husband Tim Gardner. The BBC talked to Andy Parker, father of slain journalist Alison Parker, about gun control in the U.S. He urged President Barack Obama to work the press on gun control and that he knew it would be an uphill battle. But he could do it. Mr. President, you need to do this. You need to tackle this. You can't do this. I will help you do this, and the press is with you because they just lost one of their own. Australian Border Force said its officers would be checking for visa fraud as part of a general crime crackdown involving several agencies. But the move has sparked a social media outcry, with fears and harassment and racial profiling. Victoria Police then said Operation Fortitude had been cancelled. From the ABF said a diverse team of transport and confinement agencies would be operating the Melbourne on Friday and Saturday night. Officers will be positioned at various locations around the CBD, speaking with any individual we cross paths, said Regional Commander Don Smith. You need to be aware of the conditions of your visa. If you commit visa fraud, you should know it's only a matter of time before you are caught out. Word of the ban spread like wildfire on social media, and there were calls for a snap protest outside the Flinders Street train station. We understand there has been a high level of community interest and concern which has been taken into consideration with making this decision. The federal government spent $10 million Australian in branding the months-old border force with a new headline image. Local media this week reported. It is including new military-style uniforms and signs and airport and destination centers. Turkey's foreign ministry said it's just begun attacking IS targets across the border in Syria late on Friday. Turkey has stepped up its operations against the militant group in recent weeks, granting U.S. jets access to a key air base close to the Syrian border. The U.S. began operating from Turkey earlier this month with a series of drone strikes from Kirk Air Base. Our fighter aircraft, together with warplanes belonging to the coalition, began as of yesterday evening to jointly carry out air operations against Daesh targets that constitute a threat against the security of our country. The foreign ministry said in a statement, using a projective term of IS, the fight against the terrorist organization is a priority for Turkey. The statement added, Turkey's increased involvement in the war on IS began in July in the wake of a suspected IS bomb attack in the Turkish town of Surak, which killed 32 people. Turkish warplanes attacked IS targets in Syria, but not as part of the coalition operation. The new strikes follow a cooperation agreement between Turkey and the U.S., which calls for Turkey to be fully integrated into the coalition air campaign. On Thursday, IS militants seized 5 villages from rebel groups in northern Syria as they advanced towards the strategic town of Mersia near the Turkish border. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights and other groups said IS carried out a suicide bombing on the Turkish of Maria amid fires fighting in the area. The IS advance was in the northern Aleppo province, near where Turkey and the United States have urged to establish an IS-free safe zone. Viewers, we will take a short break. Stay with us. In a moment with the headlines here. Boko Haram crisis. Nigeria disperses Boko Haram airport cell. French journalist blackmailed King of Morocco. Malaysia protests against PM Najib Razak draw thousands. Russian Academy to publish book on PM Sheikh Hasina. A cricketing day for Burnicut. Let's move to the next news. Authorities said on Friday that a boy, 14, had been arrested for spying on security producers at Abuja's airport. Security forces are working to prevent any possible attack and to ensure adequate security at the airports in response, the agency said. It said agents are still searching for militants who were directing the boy. He was instructed to pass on details about passenger screening. boarding producers, and other processors in the departure and arrival halls, according to a statement from the Department of State Services. The DSS said the arrest of the 14-year-old had disrupted a spying network mounted by the Boko Haram terrorists. It said the network was discovered on Monday and it was working with aviation authorities to preempt any attack at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. Boko Haram has waged a 6-year violent campaign in Nigeria, killing thousands and forcing millions to flee their homes. The bloodshed has been largely confined on the northeast of the country, where the group has declared an Islamic State. Eric Laurent and Catherine Graciette, who are writing a book on King Mohammed VI, were reportedly detained after being handed cash by a Moroccan official. A lawyer for the Moroccan government told France's RTL Radio that Mr. Laurent contacted the royal place in July to demand $3 million. Mr. Laurent already warned the place about damaging revelations in the book. A sum of money was handed over the accepted at a meeting between the journalist and a Moroccan government official. According to France's AFP news agency, the publishing company Editions du Seuren confirmed that the pair, who have already written the book about the Moroccan monarch, were working on a second volume due for publication early next year. Moroccan website Lead 360 MA, which has close ties to the palace, reported details of how Moroccan representatives held 2 meetings with Mr. Laurent that were monitored by police. The journalists were then arrested after leaving a restaurant with an alleged down payment. The report said Mr. Laurent and Mrs. Graciette's 2012 book, Predator King, was critical of Mohammed VI, detailing how his furniture and bolstered since taking the throne in 1999. Moroccan law prohibits criticizing the king, with a possible penalty of up to 5 years in prison for anyone who does so. Protesters are enraged by a $700 million payment made to his bank account from unnamed foreign donors. It was discovered last month during a probe into alleged management at the debt-laden state find one Malaysian development Berhad. Mr. Nazib has deemed any wandering satirist rally is exported to continue on Sunday. The pro-democracy group British has also called for protest in the crisis of Kota Kinabalu and Kuching on the Malaysian side of Borneo. Kuala Lumpur authorities have rejected the group's application for a permit to protest, and Malaysia police have declared the rallies illegal. Security is tight. Access to Kuala Lumpur's Independence Square has been blocked. Eyes will be focused on any possible army intervention. At the last big rally in 2012, police used water cannon and tear gas to disperse protesters. The man, a foreigner, was arrested in Nong Jok on the outskirts of Bangkok, a police spokesman said. Bomb-making materials were found at the apartment along with 10 passports, said the spokesman. Tore through the coward Erawan Srini on 17 August, injuring more than 100, mostly tourists. Police found bomb-making materials such as detonators and a metal pipe with leads. Mr. Taraborsi said in a televised statement. He said the 28-year-old man is not believed to have been the bomber but is suspected for involvement in the attack. Deputy National Police Chief General Chakdip Chandaza confirmed in a live TV broadcast that police has detained one person. We have found components of bomb-making materials in his apartment, and I am confident that he is likely involved with the bomb attack, he said. A reward of 1 million baht, 28,000, was offered for information, but it is not known whether this played a part in Saturday's arrest. A Russian science academy has declared to publish a book on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in different languages. The Institute of Oriental Studies of the Russian Academy of Sciences will publish the book as a part of their initiative to publish such books on leaders that are changing the world. Chief of the Academy, Dr. Vitaly N. Naumankian, said this while making a courtesy call to the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at her office on Sunday morning. Dr. Naumankian informed that his organization would publish the book on Sheikh Hasina in different languages, including Russian, English, Arabic, and Bengali. The Russian Academy has already published a book on the former Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad. At the outset of the meeting, the Russian Science Institute chief paid tributes to Father of the Nation Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and extended his heartfelt condolence at the 14th martyrdom anniversary of the great leader, speaking of Bangabandhu's Russia visit in 1974. Dr. Naumankian said he had worked as an importer during the visit, pointing out Bangladesh's impressive success on science economic fields, especially women empowerment under the leadership of PM Sheikh Hasina. The Russian high official said Bangladesh was a good partner in case of intellectual production. During the meeting, the Prime Minister recalled unequivocal support of Russia during Bangladesh's War of Liberation in 1971. The PM also spoke of the massive contribution of the Russian government of rebuilding the war-ravaged Bangladesh after independence by providing assistance in different sectors. Sheikh Hasina said she has been working for the welfare of the people of Merganism, the dream of Father of the Nation Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. In this regard, the Prime Minister said the main goal of Bangabandhu was to fulfill basic needs of the people of all strata, including women, as well as create awareness about their rights. Sheikh Hasina also highlighted the flow of women leadership in the region. Viewers, now the business news. The initial figure released in July was boosted by a sharp rise in oil and gas production. The economy grew by an annualized rate of 3.7%, up from the first estimate of 2.3% growth of 0.6% in the first 3 months of the year was not revised. The update reflected greater corporate investment than previously estimated. The growth in the economy overall was due to strong consumer and government spending and higher exports. Inventories were also higher than the Commerce Department had initially estimated. The revision was welcome news to investors that have experienced a tough week on global stock markets, triggered by fears and the Chinese economy is showing they had expected the GDP number to be revised up, but not by as much as it was. A healthy upwards revision to us GDP should act as a much-needed smoothing balm for investors after the turbulence of this week, said Nancy Curtin, Chief Investment Officer at Close Brothers Asset Management. The news gave a sharp boost to the price of oil, which rose 10% albeit from a very low base. The price had been at its lowest for more than 6 years, but despite the gain, it remains well under $50 a barrel. Brent is at $47.50 and U.S. light crude at $40.77 a barrel. Share values, too, responded immediately to the revised U.S. data, adding to strong gains made in morning trading. The main London, Paris, and Frankfurt exchanges all closed up more than 3%. Wall Street also jumped. The Dow Jones Index closed up 366.72 points, or 2.3%, at 6,285.51. The revised figures are watched closely by investors looking for clues as to when U.S. interest rates may rise. Earlier this week, a Federal Reserve official said that given the stock market turmoil and fears the Chinese economy, the case for an early rate rise was less compelling. Puryear and William Dudley's investigations. Many economists had expected the fade of rise rates in September. Dear viewers, now the sports news. The top try scorer in Super Rugby this year suffered the injury on his Test debut against Argentina in July and was initially ruled out for 3 months. But the 24-year-old wing is now expected to be fit in time for the third pool match against Georgia on 2 October after herbal treatment in Fiji. Experienced Pierre Israel Doug and Corey Jean miss out the tournament. All Blacks coach Steve Hassan has selected 17 forwards and 14 backs as his term defend the title they owned the home soil in 2011. Flanker Richie McCaw, 34, will captain the side in his fourth World Cup and could become the first player to lift trophy for a second time. I think it will be the hardest World Cup ever, said Hassan. We believe we have selected players with the right mix of experience, X-factor, determination and mental strength. This is an exciting and talented group of players who are looking to do something that hasn't been done before and make new Gentlers proud. While attending a friendly cricket match as chief guest, U.S. Ambassador to Bangladesh, Marcia Stephens Bloom Bernicat also took to pitch in hitting the ball. At the academic ground of the home of cricket in Mirpur on Friday, Bernicat stood against Bangladesh all-rounder Mahmudullah and even managed to smash off Mahmudullah's delivers. Both Bernicat and Mahmudullah were attending the six-a-side match as chief guests, constituted by disabled cricketers in celebration of 25 years of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Some of the disabled cricketers fielded while sitting on a wheelchair, while some of the batsmen batted with only one good hand. But most importantly, all of them enjoyed the time out with their hero Mahmudullah. The two teams, Gazipur Glorious and Dhaka Avengers, participated in the friendly match, but it was the spirit shown by the disabled cricketers which was the main highlight of the day. Gazipur Glorious came out to be the victors. Ambassador Bernicat said, I am very happy and grateful to be here and I am thankful to the organizers of the event. When cricket blends with the other things of society, it can create something amazing which we have witnessed, added Bernicat. She also congratulated Mahmudullah and the Tigers on their recent success and also praised Bangladesh's performance in the 2015 Special Olympics. The match was organized by IMGO Sports Event Management. Viewers, let's have a look Millennium TV News Recap. NSA phone data collection not illegal, US court rules. David Miliband, migrant crisis amid European breakdown. Turkish jets attack IS Syria targets. Bangkok bomb, Thai police arrest man over Irawan blast. U.S. economic growth revision to 3.7% boosts markets. Rugby World Cup 2015, Waisiki Naholo in New Zealand squad. You are up to date with our top stories so far here on Millennium TV, and don't forget to log in www.millenniumtv.net. Thank you and stay with Millennium TV. Allah Hafiz.